Daryl D, and this is part 2 of my Fat Albert collection. We're going to look at some more incredible Fat Albert collectibles, mostly toy related stuff from my personal collection. I'm trying to see what's out there. I have a lot of stuff, but I know there's some stuff that I don't know about, and I'm hoping that somebody who watches this video will share some of their collectibles. Fat Albert stuff. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to show you another handful or so items from my collection that I've bought over the years. It's been a little while since I actually added something to my Fat Albert collection. So most everything I'm going to show you is stuff I bought mostly 15, 20, almost 25 years ago. A lot of this stuff. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my Fat Albert Viewmaster slides. Now, I'm not sure if I still have my actual Viewmaster. I'm sure it's in one of these boxes around here, but there you go right there. You know, all my old folks remember the Viewmasters from back in the day, and they made slides for just about everything you could possibly think of in life. But you guys remember these? Let's bring back such memories. You guys remember these slides from back in the day? You know, you stick it in the front of the Viewmaster and look at the cool little pictures on there and whatnot. You know what I mean? Man, what my parents, you know, they really took care of my sister and I, toy-wise. My sister Deetra and I, we had everything. I mean, we had everything growing up as 70s kids, and you know, you name it and we pretty much had it. I mean, we didn't have everything, you know what I mean, but we had pretty much everything. There was definitely no room for complaints, you know, on our parts, because we had so much stuff. Our room, because my sister and I, we shared a room back then, and our room was so full of toys and other items that, you know, if we got sent to our room for some reason, you know, we pretty much had a good time. I remember we even had this thing, because, you know, kids got video games and all that stuff now, but we had this, it was like a monitor, like a TV monitor, like this wide or whatever, and you turn it on and it just goes bright, and then it had this long slide. So you know what these slides look like? Well, this slide was like a foot long, and it had, like, I don't know, maybe a dozen or more, like, pictures on it, just like on here, just like these slides. It was kind of like, they kind of looked like what do you call those things you used to get when you would develop a roll of film and they would give you the negatives? It kind of looked like that, because that's what these pretty much are for the most part. So you would slide it down in the TV thing one at a time, and because the screen was lit up, you would see each of the pictures as you would, you know, put it down there. So, and they would kind of tell a story or whatever. But that's what we had so much stuff in our room. But this was one of the toys that we used to occupy our time with. What's next? What should I show you next? Here's an interesting. This is an interesting Fat Albert toy. So, I used to just go nuts on eBay, you know, buying things 20 years ago, just all the stuff from my childhood. So I'm looking for Fat Albert stuff one day, and somebody advertised this as a Fat Albert. It absolutely is not a Fat Albert toy. And I knew that when I bought it, but I got it anyway. I think I got a good price on it. But somebody took a regular action figure and they put this Fat Albert costume or Fat Albert thing. It almost looks like a Santa Claus, you know, shirt or outfit or something on there. But if you look, take a good look at that guy. That's not Fat Albert, and this guy's not even. He's not even fat at all. So I think somebody just took a regular action figure and they put this outfit on there. It might be custom made, you know, because there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on, making these little outfits for these action figures. Like, check out these jeans with the pockets on them and whatnot. So yeah, like somebody just made this and said, "Hey, this is a Fat Albert figure," and I bought it anyway. The question is, who is this guy? Some of you action figure experts, tell me who that guy is. What toy is he from? I can't tell personally where this guy is from, but I thought it was hilarious that somebody would do this and even make this. I think that's I think that's pretty funny. Okay, so I got something really cool to show you. So we all know about the regular Fat Albert figures. I showed you one of them in the last video, in part 1. So that's a loose figure from like that run, and we're gonna talk about the loose figures more. I think I'm gonna save that for the last Fat Albert video. But I want to show you these because there was a few different releases of these guys. So I'm going to show you the very first release in their original packaging of these figures, and then I'm going to show you like a separate release, which I'm assuming was a later release of those same figures. So I don't have the entire runs, but I do have some that I can show you. So check this out. This is like the very first release of that. This is Weird Harold. So check this out. This is still on the card, and this first release was, you could tell because of the white or the yellow packaging in there. And then I'm going to show you what the later ones were. So what year was this? I do believe this is 1973. Put on a magnifying glass. Doesn't say. Made in Hong Kong. This is like, I do believe this is 1973. I'm pretty sure of that. And then I have, these retailed at 49 cents. And then I have the Fat Albert one as well. So those are the two original first release of these figures right here. Man, it's really never removed from the card. Now let me show you a later release of some of these same figures. I do think I have a few more of these, so check these out. So see how this has the blue background, the card is a little bit wider. Does it have a year on there? I don't see one. So you have the first one and then the second one. And I think when I started buying these, I definitely saw this one first. So then when I saw this one, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? So in this later release, this is Rudy, this is Russell, and then who else I got in here? We got Dumb Donald. And we have Mushmouth. So that's like really cool. So I've got 2 of one and 4 of this one. Unless I got some other ones hiding in here. I'm just randomly pulling these items out. So they've been packed up for a little while now. So yeah, second release, first release. Pretty cool. Now, what else can I show you? Oh, this is cool. Check this out. This is the Fat Albert eating tray. You guys remember these? You get a close-up of that. Check that out. See how they got that on there? And I used to collect a lot of these. I mean, I didn't have a ton of them, but I would pick them up. I probably had 6 or 8 of these. See how you just set it right there? You know, bring your plate, put it right there, and you could eat on your Fat Albert tray while you're watching Fat Albert on the television. I don't think this would hold a plate of food as well as it once did. But yeah, pretty cool, huh? So there are all kind of, Fat Albert stuff put out. I mean, they just really took advantage of the marketing and these items. This is 1980 that this came out. Yeah, I always dug these things. I had so many different. I mean, they pretty much did that with all of the just about any kind of pop culture character, all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, the Disney stuff, the Warner Brothers stuff. It was so many, Peanuts and what was that others? Everything back then, Cabbage Patch Kids. Almost all of them had some type of eating tray just like this. If they didn't have that, they had the figures, action figures, and lunch boxes and all of that groovy stuff. So there was always something to market, to get you to spend a dime on. This is really cool. This is from 1974. Now this is more of an adult thing, so why they actually made this, I'm not sure. But this is a Fat Albert air freshener for your car. See how it has the little string there? But yeah, that would, hang around your rear view mirror. Why they would take a kid's item and market it for an automobile, who knows? Makes indoor air outdoor fresh. For best results, cut large opening in bag, pull out string, and hang up. Do not remove bag from air freshener until fragrance weakens. Yeah, you digging that? Where I found this, I have no idea, but I think that is a really cool collectible to have. All right, let's see what. Okay, here's something that I kind of mentioned in the first video I was going to talk about. They came out with these really large Fat Albert dolls, and I believe it was 3 of these. So Fat Albert, they didn't do any of the Cosby Kids. They just did like 2 random white kids, which I don't know. I've never seen them on any of the episodes, and I don't know where they came from. I'm not sure, why they did that, or because it's not really connected to the cartoon at all. But they came in these like big boxes or whatever, and I used to have all of them in the box, but they were so big, and I figured because I found this one loose first before I found the three of them all in boxes, and of course, you know, 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, they weren't as much as I've seen them now for like hundreds of dollars, and I just thought they were too big and I didn't really need them. So I figured I'll keep the loose one, and I will just get rid of the other three. And I did that a long time ago. This brings back memories because I used to scare my cat with this. I used to, my cat did not like this dude, right? This guy right here. But yeah, this is cool. I love this. I think they got it right. It looks like a young Fat Albert, completely, totally. He's got the Converse All Stars on. You know what I'm saying? That was the style of sneaker back in the day. So yeah, yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen these. I don't think I've ever seen them out in the field. I think I definitely probably bought mine off of eBay 20 some years ago. So, but I wasn't sure if I had kept that guy or not. But I was pretty sure that I did have him. So, let's look at some more collectibles. What other Fat Albert stuff can I show you guys? I'm just randomly. Oh, here's something. Now, this was interesting. Now, this I definitely got off of Fat Albert. Now, this is a character. This was, I think this was around 85 when this dropped. Now, I remember being on eBay and I saw this and it was advertised as Fat Albert. Well, obviously that's not Fat Albert. So I believe that it was some character from something related to Fat Albert. I don't recall ever seeing this guy on any of the cartoons. I absolutely did not see that Fat Albert movie that had came out some years back, like well into the 2000s, somewhere in there. I didn't see that, so I'm not sure where this guy came from. And I almost feel like it was some type of restaurant. Oh yeah, CFF Burger King over here. Let me, does that say Burger King? Kids something. I don't know what that says. It looks like it's got like the bun, the Burger King bun. And oh yeah, Burger King 1998. What did I say? 85? I was way off. 1998? Like that doesn't make much sense to me at all. Is that when the movie came out? Does anybody know? Let me know, cause it's it's advertised, even to this day. It's advertised as Fat Albert, but I don't know it to be related to Fat Albert in any kind of way. So let me know if y'all know about that. So let's see. What else we got in here? Okay, this is cool. This is cool. Let me see what's in here. This might just be a random. Oh, check this out. So I don't know where I got this bag from, but check out this bag. Okay, I think yeah, this is for the DVD. No, this is for the cartoon when it was released on DVD. This is not the movie. And the year on this bag is 1980, 84? 1984. It looks newer than 84. But that's what it says, 1984. Anyway, inside of this 1984 bag is a, I wish there was a year on here. This is definitely mid 70s, early to mid 70s. I'm going to go 70, either 73 or 75. But this is a Fat Albert watch set. Now this was all, this this was not put together, so somebody wrapped this in plastic and kind of taped it up just to kind of keep everything together. But check that out. If you take a really close look, you'll see a watch right here, and then these two purple things right here are actually rings. So I'm guessing two different people wear the rings, and oh no, there's three rings in here. I should take this out of the plastic. I really should. Let's see. I think I will. Because I want you guys to get a better look at this. When I bought it just like this, and I never took it out of the packaging. Oh, this is great. This is great. So check this out. Now my question is, why in the world is Spider-Man on this watch? Did you notice that? Okay, so now I want some answers, and it looks like there's something missing in this area. So I'm thinking that this was taken off, or it came off, because you can see it kind of feel right, and whatever was up in here was taken out. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm going to do some research on this. Maybe this is not the right watch that is supposed to be in here at all, because it kind of gives me the idea of a stopwatch, not like a wristwatch. But I could be wrong, because I don't know what's in this area. So maybe there was another watch like this made for Spider-Man, and this stuff got taken out and switched around and whatever, and somebody just threw it together. What these rings have to do with a watch set is beyond me. Okay, I need some help. Somebody help me out with this one. This one got me scratching my head now, because I don't know what's going on here. But there was definitely some trickery going on here. Oh well. It's still a very, very cool collectible to have. And I'm going to put it right back into the plastic, so in case this it does pop off and come apart, all the pieces will still stay together. I've got a few Fat Albert items that are like that they were like barely hanging on by a thread by the time I got to them. So yeah, I think that's pretty good on this go round. Let me tell you about an item that I wish I had picked up before we end this. So I used to be a huge Pez dispenser collection. I had like 300 or 400 in my collection, and I even had a work buddy of mine, and he built me some shelving that I had them all displayed on. And I had all of the new stuff, and I had some really cool vintage stuff. I didn't have much of the of like the old classic ones, like with no feet. I mean, I had some with no feet, but not any of the super rare ones. Like I always wanted like the Uncle Sam one, and ones like that, like were really old and really collectible. I remember that we used to have this toy show. I forgot the name of it, But I met this one dealer in there, and he used to make what they call a fantasy Pez, and that's basically when you make your own Pez. And he used to make, like, he was a horror guy, so he had all of these horror Pez dispensers that he made. And I remember buying one from him that was like a white skull, and it was all screwy and messed up. But those fantasy Pez were really expensive, and I used to make some too. I used to like take these small toys, and I would cut the head. I would take a regular Pez dispenser, cut the head off, and then I would take these other heads that I got from different places, and I would basically glue them on there. And two of them that like really, and I used to be a big eBay seller back then too. But two of them that I did that really, really worked out in my favor financially speaking was I remember I was at a K&B Toys, and they had these Scooby Doo, the Scooby Doo toy that was they had them on clearance. So I'm thinking of this idea in my head, and I was like, let me buy one. They had like maybe 5 or 6 of these things on clearance, a couple bucks or something. So I bought one, and it was like a Scooby Doo tiki head. You know the tiki heads? Is that a Hawaiian thing? I'm not sure. But so they had the heads of these tiki guys, like 3 or 4 of them, and then they had all of the Scooby Doo characters. And what happens is they were like maybe almost twice the size of a regular um, Pez head back then, because they've gotten bigger over the years. But the smallest ones, it was like maybe twice the size of that. And they had them to where it was just the heads, but right on the top of the head it was flat because they had a magnet in there, so you could stack them all up like a tower, like a tiki tower, right? So you could stack them all up, so they were like perfect. So what I did was I made I took a bunch of Pez regular dispensers, cut the heads off, and I glued them on there, and I just added them to my collection. But I thought, you know what, I better go grab those other ones just in case. And this looked like little K&B Toys that was in a strip mall was like an hour out of town. So I drove up there the next day and I got the rest of them. And it took me a while to do it, but I eventually started selling them on eBay, and they sold like hotcakes. I mean, I think I invested maybe no more than $2-3 into each dispenser, and I was selling them for 50, 60, $70 a piece. Um, that was great. And then later on, when you know the Osbournes, that reality show with Ozzy and his family, like, I don't remember where I bought these. It might have been at a dollar store somewhere, but they had these bobblehead ink pens. You know, they were cheap, but they had all of the heads. I think I still have some of those heads around here somewhere. Where do I have? I don't know. Anyway, I would just rip the heads off, and they would fit perfect on a dispenser, and I would just super glue it real good. And I would make sure that when I posted them on eBay, that I told them, hey, they don't dispense any kind of candy, they don't move, just so you know. And like I said, at first I started off with them just being a part of my collection, and then when other collectors would see them, they knew that it was something that they never saw before. Anyway, when I started selling those, that ended up being a huge hit, and I made some good money, you know, selling those things. And let me just mention too that I kind of put this together in my head at the time, because I was always a big Kiss fan, you know, more so based off of, you know, the makeup and the costumes, more so than the music. And I had been like that since like grade school. Anyway, I thought to myself, because I have a cousin and she does this art, and she used to paint, all of these different like Disney characters, and she would paint them on rocks, and she's a really good artist. So I had this idea that if I gave her the Wonder Woman Pez dispensers, because the Wonder Woman's got the long black hair, and I just had her paint the face white and paint the kiss makeup. So I just bought four Wonder Woman dispensers, gave them to her, and like, draw me the kiss on there. So years before the actual Kiss Pez dispensers came out, I had the Kiss Pez dispensers in my personal collection. So that I had certain dispensers, fantasy dispensers that nobody else had, that just made my collection pop off. Well, anyway, I do believe this was on eBay. Um, there was a guy who had Fat Albert. He was selling a Fat Albert fantasy Pez dispensers, and let me tell you, it was incredible. But he wanted like $60 for it, and $60 back in, that had to have been, I don't know, 2003, 2002, somewhere in there. I didn't have $60 to spend on just a toy like that. It just wasn't going to happen. But I used to watch that thing and watch it, and at some point he sold it and I missed out. But I really, really wish that I could have gotten my hands on that one, because that would have been a Fat Albert collectible. That would have been a one of one. And I am going to show you something. I do have a Fat Albert item that is a one of one, but I think I'm going to save that for the last video. And I'm trying to keep this within 5 videos. So we'll see how that, I think I'll be able to do it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes down. But yeah, that, I wish I would have grabbed that Fat Albert piece and had that as a part of my Fat Albert collection, because that really, really would have set off my collection very nicely. And speaking of very nicely, I think this will be a very nice ending to this particular video. So we'll stop it right here, and I will see you sooner than later with part 3 of my Fat Albert collection. And I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Till then, you guys stay safe. This is Daryl D. Peace and love.